Bellatrix is the twisted cousin of Harry's godfather, Sirius Black, who's looking rather smarter than when we last saw him.
He's more refined, isn't he?
But who would have known, you know, when they saw me last in sort of stripy old Azkaban rags. So, but I'm quite the Edwardian gentleman, really.
It suits you as well.
Yeah.
Sirius, oh my God, how much do I love some of his waistcoats, are fantastic. He was a bit like Hurricane Higgins as well.
You've got to look at the wizard boots, look.
They go all the way up, look at that.
And a family emblem on a belt. Well, it's not a family emblem, actually, because he wouldn't wear that, because he can't stand his family. But the detail of it is
spectacular, and that's sort of a watch chain type.
And this is all hand-painted, and they've looked after me.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you could introduce me to your mother, can't you?
To recreate Sirius's 19th century waistcoat, the velvet was first dyed, and then a printing technique called devore was used to burn a pattern into the fabric.
When you eventually take that out, you can see the flowers on it, essentially.
From there, we have to paint on these flowers. It's meant to look as though it's embroidery that's gradually worn away over years.
The girl spent 48 hours painting little roses on 50 meters of velour. She told me, when I close my eyes, I just see little roses. She couldn't stand, she said, she had shadows of those flowers.
The moths have been enjoying his clothes a little bit, haven't they?
Yes. It is all sort of decay glory, yes. They hated me because nothing is worse than to damage velour, because you have to cut the little hair, shave it. It's a lot of work.
But that's the interesting thing, the detail that you go into. People won't necessarily notice.
But he noticed.
Right.
And you know, for an actor to have something like that, it was so important for him to know that he was carrying all the heritage of his family. And it helps him to play the part, yes, certainly.
You're not a bad person.
Life on a film set is not like real life. You know, like where you put your clothes on yourself. In this world, there are people who do that for you.
You have people that dress you?
Yes, I do.
Now, I can understand, Dan, when I meet Helena and she's dressed as Bellatrix and she's got the little
Right,
things,
yeah.
the deaf features, and they've got bits and pieces. You're putting on your school uniform. Can't you dress yourself?
I can, probably. The problem is that there are some things which it's like laces, which I'm rubbish at. I can do them, and they stay done up for about 10 minutes, and then they come undone again. It's pathetic.
So you have bad lacing technique?
I have bad lacing technique, so God help me if I ever have to wear a corset.
But the team of standby costumiers do more than simply dress the cast.
We make sure the continuity is right. That's quite a major part of what we do, is continuity. If they walked through a door wearing a hat, then when we shoot it 4 months later and they're walking out of the door, they've still got the hat on. If somebody's out in the rain, if we're then onto another scene where they're inside, we'd have to make sure they were wet. When you've got something on such a huge, big screen, say if you've got like a bit of dust on someone's shoulder, when the camera's that tight, I mean, it's really distracting. You can really see it. Anything can happen during a filming day. Actor can sort of bend over and have a disaster or something, kind of rip the trousers. And it's always at the very last minute with about kind of 50 million people all staring at you, shouting, quickly, and you're trying to sew it up.
And of course, it's not just the main cast. There are hundreds of extras who all have to be dressed in their wizarding best.
Most teenagers hate their school uniform, and the Hogwarts students are no exception.
They're all used to wearing hipster trousers. They have no concept of wearing something on their waist, and the amount of times you fit them in trousers and they say, well, they don't fit, and all you have to do is hoik them up, put a belt on, and then they just stood aghast at what they look like.
All these costumes underneath those really, really hot lights, you can imagine that this room takes a real battering.
But make sure you read the label carefully. Not everything is suitable for washing.
Is it true that because the costume is so delicate, you can't wash?
No, we cannot wash. So we made 6 of them, and then we just
rotate them.
It's really horrible because I sweat so much.
It's like,
it's going to stand up on its own one of these days.
If we wash, it would be a disaster. It's not something to wash, it's something to wear.
It's all the layers of detail that make the Harry Potter films so special. But if they snipped a few corners here and there, would anyone really notice?
You have fans who will watch everything in minute detail. And they're looking for the one trick up where we didn't quite get it right. So at all times you have to try your best.
No matter how sort of brief the shot.
Time-consuming, or how much it may not be seen because it's going to be lit so dark that you won't even see that he's in green. It'll all look black.
Yeah.
It has to be perfect.
The wonderful thing about coming down here is the surprises that you get every step of the way, whether it's the lacing of the corsets or the moth-eaten waistcoats or the extra, stunt padding that they all have. Nothing is left to chance. You never know what's lurking behind the next corner. I cannot wait to see this film on the big screen. See ya.
If you have 1 second of a light on a detail, it should be perfect. And we all work for that second, for that little details. Because, your eyes always catch what's something wrong, never something good. So you have to make it always so perfect that your eye can just catch perfection.
Text Harry to 8339 for show information, Harry Potter facts and features, and much more. Text costs 2 standard messages. Next on ITV1.
Summer holiday with Cliff Richard.
No more working for a week or two.
Sing It Back.